welcome to the 5th round of the Legacy Challenge. It's actually 3 more rounds to go, including this one. And we are up against an unknown player, and the hand honestly doesn't look that impressive to me. It's certainly a keep. We've got some early pressure. We got one half of the best friends team. Unfortunately, we got no way to find it. Like, I always prefer to have the Elfish Visionary part of that, because that gets you closer to the Wild Symbiote by drawing extra cards, whereas Wild Symbiote on its own doesn't, like, it's not very good in doing tricksy things. Like, yeah, you can sometimes like attack past a bigger blocker by attacking with these two, and then you bounce one of them and replay the other, so it helps with like dealing a little bit of damage, but overall I think drawing an extra card is worth something like 6 damage to your opponent and on an even board with Elves. That's just like totally from the top of my head, and it takes quite a lot for Wild Symbiote to have this kind of value. So yeah, but we will keep this. It gives us some outs, and also once again we get to blow out the opponent if he relies on something like Chalice or Blood Moon. So it's okay. It's an okay hand. I'm not thrilled to have it. And if you played Elves, you know that there's certainly better hands. Opponent gets Underground Sea, probably one of the most common Underground Sea into Deathwatch Shaman. Oh, what could that be? It's only like 17 decks in Legacy that could have a start like this. I've even seen Storm go for Polluted Delta Underground Sea Deathwatch Shaman. I think that was it Martin Wonasek from the Czech Republic who pioneered doing that. I'm still not sure if it was like a joke or a legit way to replace the Lotus Petals in his deck. Might have been a joke. But see, I'm not even sure. Here I'm attacking for 2, and I think I'm probably only gonna play the Verdant Catacombs to set up for a really good glimpse next turn. You might run out the Quirion Ranger. I think I don't hate that in case he plays like Wasteland Go. But oh, please stop messaging me. And yeah, so this way we get to somewhat protect Rider, but it's unfortunate he takes out the Glimpse here, I would think. Oh, he takes out the Wirewood Symbiote, that's surprising. Taking out the Wirewood Symbiote is pretty bold, because if you draw a 1-mana elf, like if you draw Heritage to it, the game could instantly be over. Taking out the Quirion Ranger helps. Preordain. Okay, at this point I'm feeling it's probably check pile, like the Thomas Ingevoldsen list. And what do you do in the Preordain? Top, bottom? No, okay. Average. So I'm really hoping to draw a 1-mana elf, which we don't, which is unfortunate. And do I? No, I'm not running out anything here. Okay. I could have basically only cycled the Glimpse anyway, which isn't great. At this point I already know that we're not going to get any value out of the Reclamation Sage, but I just want to wait one more turn to maybe like draw a couple more cards of Glimpse. I'm usually not one to hold back on the Glimpses, and I will cycle them when I need to draw into something. But on a board like this, I'm not even sure if there's something that I could like draw into that would be super good in the next turn, since we don't have the best friends team, and Natural Order probably also wouldn't get us that far. Like, or let's put it this way, if we drew Natural Order, I'm pretty positive that it would be countered. And it's less devastating to have a Glimpse countered than to have a Natural Order countered. Unfortunately for us, he gets down the Traitor Elf. He now controls more Elves than we do, which is never a spot you want to be in with Elves. And we get super punished. But I can't really say punished, because like wouldn't have mattered anyway. But yeah, drawing the extra Glimpse is really annoying. I'm just running out the Reclamation Sage here because it gives us more outs. Like if you draw a Natural Order and it does resolve, and it's really one of the last things that can actually help us here, we want to have that guy in play. It's really just a play where you think, hey, well, if I draw a Natural Order, maybe I can actually do it. He gets down Chase, which is also quite annoying. He pluses, so he doesn't, like, had he not plussed, we could have sent everything at Chase, and then we lose one of our creatures and take it out. And then we'd probably still be in a bad spot, but at least he wouldn't have Chase. But he plays around that by just plussing Chase and putting on top. Yeah, he put the Lano Elves on top. It would be so sweet if you could like just drop Caracas here, put the Leovold back, and then go double Glimpse and crazy. But we can't. So I'm just running out the extra elves because it means extra mana, which means that Greens and Sunnet might become live. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, still not there. But it gets us to hard-casting Behemoth next turn, which is one of the few outs, I guess. Thoughtseize doesn't really matter. I see him going down to 8, which for a moment makes me feel like, oh, maybe we can raise him. But no, he's got Deathwatch Shaman. It's really hard to raise a Deathwatch Shaman. This guy really goes like it. You know, on a point like this, you're either like playing against a total amateur and you feel like, oh yeah, great, or you're absolutely lost. If he's willing to pay 4 mana for another Brainstorm, he's either super desperate or in such a commanding position that doesn't really matter anyway. Maybe he did it because he wanted to find a Force of Will. Like, if I had drawn Natural Order or Behemoth here, I would actually feel like there's a good chance that it would resolve because of the play that he did with the chase. But he didn't, and we just draw a 2-mana 1/1, which is worth than a Squire. What's the generic term for a 2-mana 1/1? You probably don't even have one because like that would be so bad they didn't even put that in beta. Grey Ogre, Hill Giants, they are so much better than 2-mana 1/1s. Preordain, if he puts any cards... Oh, I was about to say, if he puts any cards to the top, I'm feeling bad. He puts 2 cards to the top. And is he gonna try to kill us with Chase or the normal way? Oh, he's gonna Lightning Bolt. Probably on the... Elves? Yeah, okay, so either Lano Elves or Dryad Arbor, I guess it's the same. And he puts a card to the top. There's not that many cards that I can draw here now. I think it's really only Natural Order. So we need to draw running Natural Orders to get there. Or now that we have the land, also Behemoth. So there's 5 cards left in our deck. And I just decided, okay, now is the time to just start attacking him. I don't think that's... Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think that's correct. Yeah, especially because of Deathwatch Shaman. If he didn't have Deathwatch Shaman, I would have considered that, but it's just... I'd rather have those outs of having, like, top, like the top 2 cards being what I need. He scries to the bottom. Now he makes this kind of attack. He knows that we have the extra chitter, so there's really no way that I'm ever blocking this. Because at this point, I almost guaranteedly know that he has Leovold in hand. The upside, of course, would be then we would make him play that Leovold, and then we could draw Natural Order, but we already know that we're not going to draw Natural Order because he puts the card to the top with Chase. So it's kind of this interesting circle where had he not Fate Sealed, we would have maybe tried to kill the Leovold to draw into Natural Order because we already know that he knows about the Glimpse, which makes him replay the Leovold. Then he doesn't have a pitch card for Force. But since we know that he knows that we don't have Natural Order on top, we already also kind of concluded that, so there's no point in trying to strip his blue pitch card from his hand by blocking the Leovold, because we are not getting the payoff card we're looking for anyway. So that means we will just take the 3. And unfortunately, once again, no Natural Order. And then we pass the turn. He gets Baleful Strix. Card doesn't really change all that much. And what did he do? He probably puts to the top. Yeah, it's really only 5 cards in the deck. I guess Senate became live again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, even Senate isn't live yet. But I guess he would have put Senate to the bottom. Quarian Ranger. Oh, okay, I see why I'm not playing the Quarian Ranger here. Okay, so at this point, I'm feeling maybe my only out is for him to really be a bit stubborn and lose his Leovold in combat and then actually not have a replacement one, and then there's a chance you get there with Glimpse. It's super unlikely, but I think it's like you have to like take all the chances that you can get, and yeah, here we finally got some value for him that he was probably like having on top all the time. He once again Fate Seals us, puts the card to the top, and that pretty much seals the deal. I see myself out. Yeah, we have to block the Leovold, otherwise we are dead here. We go down to exactly 1, and now we need to find Natural Order. Does Natural Order even do it? Puts him to 12. Yeah, Natural Order attacks for 17. And this is not Natural Order. So, unfortunately, we finally lose a game. I guess we already lost 1 game before. And then we'll head straight into the second game. How did I sideboard in this matchup? So I'm trying something else now. I brought in 3 Abrupt Decays for Leovold because you need to do that. I brought in 2 Chokes, which aren't super amazing, but still good enough here. I did bring in the Progenitors, and that makes it 6 cards. And I brought in 2 Thoughtseizes. So that makes it 8 cards. I took out 3 Nettle Sentinels, 2 Quirion Ranger and a Kratoth Behemoth. Kratoth Behemoth is a card you can take out if you bring in the Progenitus, and also Reclamation Sage, because there's really nothing you really want to hit. Like, you can hit the Strix, but it's not very great value. And yeah, in the past I used to take out Natural Order completely against them. Now I'm kind of trying this thing, since I don't have Nissa and she doesn't like congest your high mana slots. I'm trying this thing where I really just like try to value Natural Order for the 10/10 protection from everything. And I will see how that goes. I certainly don't hate Scavenging Ooze in the matchup, but there's only so many cards you can take out without becoming super slow. And this is where I am right now. 2, 4, 6. Apparently we mulliganed our hand. 2, 4, 6. Let me jump back into the game to see which kind of hand we mulliganed. I think Magic Honor must have jumped over that. Or maybe I did. Yeah. Unfortunately unkeepable. Has the best friends team, has Cradle. If this was like a real land, I would instantly get like Dry Arbor and then draw infinite cards on every turn. But we have to ship that one back, and this has half the best friends team and a Cradle, so I like it. It has Spiral Symbiote, which makes this hand actually really quite good. I just hope the opponent puts a land to the graveyard. And he doesn't. He gets his own Deathrite Shaman. It's still a good spot. We get this guy down, and then I might just play Heritage to it. And pass the turn and hope that he doesn't have him. Like, Kyrm would be quite devastating. On the other hand, we do have some outs. And since he plays that Preordain, we already know that he's not gonna cast him this turn. And does he go double bottom? Bottom, bottom. Always a great sign. But if he casts something that's annoying here, like even Lightning Bolt would be quite annoying. There's also a chance, like if we draw an Elf here, if we draw an Elf, we can send it for Behemoth, but it wouldn't be lethal, since we would need to bounce the Heritage Druid to untap the Deathrite Gem to make sure we get the activation. 4, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, so it would be for 8, for 40, for 12, and I think I would do that. But the opponent has other plans, and he takes out Wild Symbiote in the upkeep. So at this point, it's not looking great. I think I'm just gonna draw an extra card. Because there's a chance... No, even if we draw... Yeah, if we do end up drawing a Natural Order, you wanna do this. Pre-combat. And come on, Natural Order, do it. No, now we draw Glimpse. Okay, Glimpse is okay. Glimpse makes every creature we draw into a pretty great top deck, unless he finds Layer Vault. And since he hasn't had access to 3 mana yet, I feel like there's a chance that he might have it. I'm not stopping him from doing this, because on one hand, it means that... or let me start with the main reason. The main reason I'm not doing this is because if there's a chance that he has Layer Vault, and we haven't been able to conclude yet that he doesn't have Layer Vault, then if I tap Deathrite Shaman here to counter his Deathrite Shaman activation, and then he has something like Wasteland. I don't know. Maybe he's got a way to put a land to a graveyard. Probably Wasteland. They are not very... Like, they don't play a lot of Wastelands. Often they don't play any at all. And I use my Deathrite Shaman, and then he gets to use his Deathrite Shaman, and then he can cast Layer Vault on his turn. So I would rather stop him from getting to, like, 3 or 4 mana, than for him to, like, maybe if I eat another Lightning Bolt here, I don't care. They usually you only even play like 2 or something. And so I think there's really not a lot of danger coming from this Deathrite Shaman activation, and I just let it happen. Oh, sorry. He might be, like, yeah. Also, since he went bottom on the Preordain, I really feel like maybe mana is the bottleneck, and I'd rather restrict his mana on his main phase. He goes top bottom, finds the extra land, and Fatal pushes our Deathrite Shaman, which is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. As long as I still get to Glimpse next turn, I'm feeling good, but unfortunately for us, this really looks like him. Oh, it doesn't, okay. Just some random charm. Oh, Abrupt Decay, okay. So now here we really need to draw an Elf. But we draw Abrupt Decay, and we couldn't even cast it. Oh, I remember this situation. This situation was like, I was thinking, well, if we can draw Abrupt Decay, that wouldn't be the worst, since the opponent showed that he also probably doesn't have green mana. But he might. He needed to get green of the Deathrite Gem. I think if he really had Leovold and wanted to get green mana, then he would have turned this into a Tropical or something. Can he fetch Tropical with Polluted Delta? He could, or Bloodstained. Oh, Bloodstained Maya doesn't fetch Tropical, so he would have needed to get Bayou. I think overall it's still better to get the Dryad Arbor here, because you get to attack and you also need the extra mana. And it also makes natural ordering a little easier. He actually ends up having the Bayou, takes out the Glimpse. And gets down Chase probably, yeah. 4 mana is... Oh, it's Chandra. Chandra finds the Chase on top, has to remove it. And then, unfortunately, we don't get to take out Chandra. And this game is really one of those games where you feel like you either find Natural Order or the Best Friends team on the very next turn, assuming that he doesn't kill Elvish Visionary here. Which he probably... No, he can't even. Chandra's on 2. He took out the... Didn't take out anything, he plus... And then we got it down to 2. Again, Brainstorm of the Chandra activation, of course, plays it. I think he really is only looking for a Force of Will and Leovold here. Those are the only 2 cards he cares. He already has like the win kind of locked up with Chandra. He needs protection. And part of that is Leovold. And we draw another Glimpse. We try to get the activation, mainly because it means that his Deathrite Gem is going to be tapped, so we get to take out Chandra, unless he has Fatal Push. Which would be quite annoying, but yeah. So I'm basically like trying to get there over 2 turns, but even that is super hard, and I eventually just decide against it. There was a chance that like if he actually lets me get that activation, I can take out the Leovold, and then we can get in with those 2, and then Deathrite Gem is like in a really weird spot, and we can take out Chandra. So I feel like the upside of activating Deathrite Gem is still worth it, because like it doesn't really matter whether he gets to use his Deathrite Gem next turn, whereas if he lets us use the Deathrite Gem here and we get there, it ends up being quite good. Did he reveal? Oh, he revealed Scalding Tarn, okay. No, he didn't reveal Scalding, he removed the Scalding Tarn. What did the Chandra do? Chandra. Oh, okay, I see. It doesn't really put those in. Oh, he had, okay, second Scalding Tarn. Ah, see, there we go. But yeah, commenting these games that are pretty desperate and hopeless, you always feel like, can't this be? Oh, because this game really, when you're behind against Czech pile, it's really, really hard to come back from that. Now we have an out of finding Senate 6. Yes, Senate would be pretty good. If he doesn't find anything on his turn or do anything to us. But other than that, it's really just like Senate or Natural Order. And now that he has him, even that Senate option is gone. He has a Force of Will on top that he just puts away, so I guess that helps. Come on, Natural Order. Visionary. I wish Visionary would draw a card here. It's just like, your opponent is so exposed right now, but we couldn't even cast it, so, okay. I guess we could have cast it because we had 1 floating. And we're slowly dying to the opponent's Deathrite Shaman. We gained 2 life in response, by the way. There's a bit of Chandra. Sorry, this game is a little over the place in my head for me. Yeah, we gained 2 life in response to him using the Glimpse, because I felt like I just like wanted to get the value while I can, because I couldn't really stop him from activating his Deathrite Shaman. But of course we get punished by the Snapcaster Mage here. But like if you ever see me play games like this, it's all about getting the early advantage, and if I can't get the early advantage, I feel like I'm totally lost. It's so hard to like come back against losing positions with Elves against Czech pile. That's why I really, really value these extra Llanowar Elves and stuff that I have in my deck right now very, very highly. Like if you can set up like a favorable board position early on in the game, it's really, really good. And here he just like discards a card basically to untap his Leovold. That's a trick that you can do with Natural Order as well if you have progenitors, you can attack and then basically give it vigilance by untapping it with the natural order that you sacrifice it to. It gets back into the library and then you get it back out. It comes up at times. And when it comes up and it's important, it's really important, but usually it's just like showboarding. At this point, I still haven't fully given up on drawing natural order yet, but we're getting to a point where even like just Chandra might kill us. And he just clears our board, so Chandra kill is off the table, but we are already just losing to his board. And I think even if we get progenitors here, he can still go to 11, and that would mean that even the single attack of progenitors wouldn't do it. So this game is pretty much lost at this point. The opponent didn't really have the best of starts, and I think I kind of liked our position, but then I think the hymn, the Thought Seizes got us pretty good. And yeah, the Chandra, can't even say sealed the deal. I think the most important part was the turn when we had like the 2 glimpses, or 1 glimpse, and he played Leovold and we got another glimpse. That always feels bad. They are sometimes a little weak the turn they play Leovold, because they have to tap 3 mana main phase for that, and Leovold doesn't immediately like start doing something, as in like drawing them a card or something. So you feel like, maybe if I can draw a natural order now, they can't. Also, like, they've got 1 fewer blue card in hand, maybe no Force of Will. But if you let them untap with Leovold and do the other stuff, it sometimes feels like, I kind of missed a window, you see? So here, I'm not even sure what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, Deathwatch. Am I getting Deathwatch Shaman? Probably. Yeah, but... yeah. This game was lost. Can't win them all. And yeah, so we are 4-1. I think if we win the next round, we should still be a lock for top 8, because we started out 4-0, and usually in these daily and in these legacy challenges, 2 X and 2s make it, and yeah, we will try to get there. And so see you in next round.